Winds in the east, mist coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our descent into Los Angeles.
Welcome.
Okay, then Saving Mr. Banks. I tell you what, Simon, it's been a long time since I've actually seen this film. I actually got in to see an advanced preview of it with Paul.
God, that's the back end of November then.
Yeah, it's a long time.
When Paul still worked on the website.
Yeah, well, I've been trying. I did mean to kind of get some sort of them. I just never got around to it. And he's a hard man to track down and pin down sometimes for these things. He's, he's a free spirit. But yeah, Saving
Like
Mr. Banks. Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah. So Saving Mr. Banks. Just a heads up as well. I don't know if you've listened to any of our other recent reviews or Let's Talk podcasts, but we're doing things a little bit differently now. We're going to give a kind of a bit of a summary of our opinions on a movie or game if we're doing a game, give our rating, and then go into our more free-form, chewing the fat, talking about the film, maybe touching on a few spoilers, discussing a few more plot points in depth. So, right, to kick off the bat, I'm just going to give a little summary of this movie, Simon, and my rating, and then if you would do the same thing. Okay, so Saving Mr. Banks is the dramatised account of Mary Poppins author P.L. Travers' encounter with ruthless business tycoon Walt Disney. P.L. Travers is played by the rather lovely Emma Thompson, and Walt Disney is played by the marvellous Tom Hanks in this case. For the most part, this is actually quite a nice little family drama, although it does sugarcoat over what was an incredibly bitter and long-standing feud between these two people. The film ultimately, while it does deal with the kind of the dislike between the two of them, it does so in a much more light-hearted way than what I have become. I've read up on since I've seen the film, and does paint Walt Disney into something a bit more of a light-hearted character than I believe he was. For the most part, it is actually quite good, largely because of its cast. It's got a lot of strong people in here. Obviously, Emma Thompson and Tom Hanks are both kind of long-standing stalwarts of Hollywood, both very accomplished actors, and they do their parts rather well, particularly Tom Hanks, who I thought was the standout in this film in particular. But you've also got the likes of Colin Farrell, who plays Travers Goff, who is P.L. Travers' father, and you've also got the likes of Paul Giamatti and Jason Schwartzman, among other people in this movie, who all contribute to what's quite a charming little drama. Ultimately, however, though, the characters all feel a bit too stereotypical. And even though I do like Emma Thompson, and I do think she does a good job with what she's given here, P.L. Travers is such a fucking cookie-cutter stereotype of a frigid English harridan. And I just don't like, whether she was like this in real life or not, I don't know, but I really didn't like her. And I don't think the fact that you've got daddy issues really gives you the license to be a complete cunt to everybody you meet. On the flip side of things, you've also got a lot of flashbacks to her childhood explaining why she is the way she is. Obviously with Colin Farrell as a father, playing her young father as she's a child. And Colin Farrell actually at first is really charming, but again, he's very much a cookie-cutter character that stands out as this kind of eccentric and misunderstood father who, he's beloved by his children, but there's obviously something not quite right in the world of adults. But he kind of, as the film rolls on, he boils down into this almost cartoon drunk that's just laughable rather than shocking at times. Yeah. And I just think it takes these kind of archetypes of characters too far. I don't really like the conclusion of the film because, as I say, I think it sugarcoats certain aspects of Disney as a company and Disney as Walt Disney as a person, because this is ultimately a Disney film. And I did enjoy it while I watched it, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of grated on me. So while this is certainly not a bad film, it's not a particularly good one either, and I'd probably give it a B- overall.
Well, it's interesting because I'd also give it a B-, but I'm going to I talk about it slightly more positively. I'll agree with you that this completely sugarcoats a lot of things, and you're always going to get that, first of all, in any Disney film. it's going to gloss over the things that they don't want to show you.
Yeah, obviously.
And they actually mention that in this film, that she doesn't want the sort of the harsher things of her book glossed over in Disney fashion. So they do. It's almost self-referential as to what they're doing in a really like underhand way. But
Yeah,
problem is that it's a Disney film about Disney.
yeah. I
It's
know.
not just Disney film sugarcoating someone else's work. It's Disney covering up their own past almost. This would have been much better if it was like a Weinstein film or something, like completely independent and
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, there's a bit in here where Walt Disney's smoking, and he gets caught by P.L. Travers smoking, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like to be caught smoking. It's not a good public image." Well, that's complete horseshit. Walt Disney was a ridiculous chain smoker and smoked all the fucking time. It's only in years since his death that Disney have decided to kind of go back over history and paint out the fact that he smoked. There's numerous pictures that are evident that previously had him holding a cigarette that have been kind of altered to remove it. And it was just kind of like, it's just them serving to reinforce their own agenda almost.
yeah. And I think the main problem for me on that level would come in that they go to such lengths to explain Mrs. Travers' backstory that they're almost trying to make it historical drama. And then you have them doing stuff like that as well. Because from the trailer, there's no flashbacks in the trailer that I saw. I was expecting a light-hearted movie about making a movie. And to be honest, that is my idea of a perfect movie. Like, I love Entourage. I love the behind-the-scenes stuff. You know, I work for a website. We primarily work in film, look at films. And I just love the concept of movie making. And that's what I wanted to see in this. The fact that they turned it into sort of a historical drama and then fucked up on the history.
Cherry
You know,
picking.
I thought that, like, you say Colin Farrell turns into a comic drunk. I thought it was Colin Farrell's best performance, and then it gradually got weaker as it went on.
Yeah, it really did.
Like, I was so impressed with him at the start. I really was. And then it would reach a certain point, man. Just like, I don't care about any of this. I don't care why she's a bitch. I don't care why she wrote the book. I just want to see them make the film. Because the bits where they're arguing about scenes and they're trying to write the songs, I really like them bits, which really had nothing to do with the overall film. It was just like some things they had to show.
Yeah.
But just when they're having like production meetings, I could just watch that about any film any day.
Well, the
And
thing
maybe
is, as
that's
well,
just me. But
the cast was, as I say, the cast has a lot of strong people in here, and it wasn't terrible either. The script isn't terrible.
no.
It just has certain aspects that rub me up the wrong way. Especially the more I thought about them as well, it kind of exacerbated them as well. And yeah,
There's some really nice moments in it. When Jason Schwartzman's playing the Tuppence song for Walt Disney walks in, and it made me realise that the music in Mary Poppins is actually really well written songs. I never thought about it before, ever,
they're really
because I hate
catchy.
Mary Poppins. They're really catchy. And it's just like, you see them build some songs up from the ground, and I'd love it if that's the way the Sherman Brothers actually did it, because the other guy, the Sherman Brothers, one of them's Jason Schwartzman in this, and the other one is played by B.J. Novak, who's in The American Office.
He's also in Inglourious Bastards. He's
He
the
is,
only
yeah.
other survivor other than Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah. I knew him from something else as well. But they played the Sherman Brothers, who were like, I suppose they're infamous in Hollywood terms for writing great songs, because I think they did all the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang music as well. And I want to say they did the Jungle Book.
Yes, I believe they did. They did a lot
They
of
did
that
a
era
lot of
Disney.
stuff. And it was just like, it was the sort of the Hollywood history that I really liked, where I didn't really care about anything else. And the problem is that the focus is on saving Mr. Banks, who is an allegory for P.L. Travers' father.
Yeah.
And I really didn't care. If I'd wanted to see that, I'd have rather had the entire focus on that. I felt like the bits that I was interested in wasn't getting the screen time that I wanted. Because Tom Hanks was amazing as Walt Disney.
He was good. He did do a lot for this movie, I thought. He was just charming. Yeah. He was like the charming aspects of Disney, just personified. It's just a shame. I honestly wish he'd had a bit more of an edge to him. Because as I believe it, I don't care what Disney like to portray themselves. They are a ruthless corporation.
Oh yeah, they are. They're horrible.
They're one of the worst.
It's a shame that this hasn't been made by someone else, but Tom Hanks was good. He could have been great if he had been given a bit more bite to him. Because I'm assuming in the real sort of production thing, P.L. Travers says that they're not allowed to use the color red in the production. This is one of the bitchy things that she decides to pull. And if I remember correctly, in Mary Poppins, there is red in it.
Well, that's just another one of the battles she lost. Just like
But in the film, he let her have it for the time being, and then I was just like, well, they never went back and readdressed that issue. So it was obvious that he turned his back on that agreement.
Oh, he just like completely fucked her over. Like he basically didn't listen to her. He said yes to her face for everything just to get this movie made.
Yeah.
That's
Think
at least
she really
the impression
liked
I
it in the end.
Apparently not. Apparently, I was reading about it. Apparently, she wrote a few more books after it, which is sure to show you in this film. And she never let them have the license to any of them, and she never made anything ever again. I think the only thing that was done since is that there was a stage show done, and I think she was heavily involved in it.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It was a good few weeks since I've read up on this, but she was very soured on adaptations after that point.
What I don't think the film got wrong, I can't imagine them making it up, is her need to have this film made because she was broke as dicks.
She was like...
on some level, you have to... It doesn't matter if someone bastardizes your work if you need them to.
You need to get off your ass and write a fucking second book if you're that bothered about it.
So, I don't think George R. R. Martin's got any such troubles.
No.
Yeah, she at some point selling out's okay, and I just think she was so uppity that it just never would have been. I don't think there was any way she'd have been happy with that film.
Oh no.
So
I don't know. I didn't like her as a character as much as I like Emma Thompson.
No, neither did I. It was hard to empathise with her as a main character as well, because it wasn't as even. She never seemed to come around either.
She did a little bit towards the end, I thought, because when she's got a relationship with Paul Giamatti develops, and
that is good.
And she does start opening up to people, but at the same time, I was thinking, you know what? The only reason these people are fucking tolerating you is because Walt Disney is the boss man, and he wants you to give up the license. And I think, if you were a script writer just with a random script, no one would fucking tolerate you. And if you were just a person you met in the street, no one would fucking tolerate this bullshit. And I just thought she was a horrible person. I don't care if she's got daddy issues to the nth degree. The fucking dad was a worthless drunk.
I don't feel like Colin Farrell.
Yeah, he wasn't even acting.
No, that's what I thought.
It's like, oh shit, just keep the cameras rolling, we'll go with it.
There's nothing more frustrating either in a film when you're enjoying a scene and then it just cuts away to show you something completely different for 20 minutes. And this is every time there was a transition, that's what happened. It's like they'd show you something interesting and then it's just like it would fade to white and then you'd be like, oh, I've been back in fucking Australia. I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I enjoyed this movie, when I watched it, but the more I thought about it, the less I liked it. But what would your rating be?
Yeah, I'd give it a B-, and I feel that I love watching films about films, and the trailer portrayed it negatively for me. It's not the film that was promised on the box.
Didn't you actually, as well, because you've only recently seen this, didn't you actually go out your way to watch this movie?
Yeah, well, this is another thing then. I mean, I know that it came out at the end. I think it came out on November 26th, I want to say. So I only got around to seeing it on January 6th, so it's like 2 months, month and a half later. And the only showings, I caught the second last showing. It was on once a day at 2 p.m. So I took the day off work to go and see it.
You didn't take the day off, though, did you? You were off work and went to see it.
No, I took the day off to go and see it.
Oh, man.
I had stuff to do the rest of the week. So I took 3 days off work, and with the whole intention of going to this one place to see this one film and then doing other stuff at that place.
Oh, that's not so bad then. That's not
no,
so bad.
I didn't just go on a 40-minute ride to Braintree and then come back. I had other stuff to do.
That's all right then, because that would have been a bad trip.
Yeah. I also happy to everyone know I finally got a Cineworld Unlimited card.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice one.
Unfortunately, right. Say we're done with Saving Mr. Banks for now. Let's just go into a bit of my personal life. We went to see American Hustle on the Tuesday, and I tried to sign up then, but the machine wasn't working. So I fucking paid for a film on Tuesday night, and then I bought an unlimited card on the Wednesday. Felt like such a waste of £6.
Yes, it was.
And I haven't seen another film since, so
So you've like spent another 15 on top of that.
yeah. So I need to go and see. Well, 12 Years a Slave's coming out. We got loads of stuff coming out soon. It's Oscar season.
Yeah, we're gonna be racking the movies up soon. I'm actually off this week coming up.
Oh yeah,
and I fully intend to go to the local Cineworld. God, we should be sponsored by Cineworld. Go to the local Cineworld and spend the day there. Like go to one of their earliest showings, just catch whatever's on.
Yeah,
and then like come out like early afternoon, go to another one, and maybe even go to a third one in the evening. That's
well, I'm going to start. If I haven't reached like a quarter of 4 films a month, I'm just going to go to one, go to a cinema, and just sit there for a few films on a Sunday or something now.
Yes, I used to do that. I find it harder and harder to do like marathon sessions, but I certainly am this week.
Good.
There's a few things I still need to see, and a few new things I believe. So maybe I'll get to see Anchorman finally. Who knows?
Yeah, go see it. RoboCop's out soon.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it the other day. You know what? I actually think it looks quite fun. I don't think it's. It
doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to be. I will admit. And what I'm disappointed was is
the suit when we saw them leaked pictures looked like Batman, but actually I think once it's actually in motion in the film with all the lights and CGI on it, to tart it up a bit, I think it actually looks quite reasonably decent.
Yeah, I think it looks alright. But anyway, Save Mr. Banks, B-.
The Bankses, they're family to me.
Mary Poppins was a real person? So it's not the children she comes to save. It's their father. It's your father.
You don't know what she means to me.
I won't disappoint you. I swear every time a person walks into a movie house, they will rejoice. Don't you want to finish the story? Now, the boys have come up with an idea I think it's going to make you happy.
You didn't bring me all the way here to tell me that.
Oh, no, I had a wager. I couldn't get you on a ride. I just won $20.